MIKHAEL Massa here. Today I want to share with you a deep truth from our Bantu tradition, the understanding that we are more than just physical beings. Let's explore our true nature and what it means to be a spiritual being in a physical body. In our Bantu tradition and understanding, the concept of spirituality and the nature of our existence is deeply rooted in the idea that we are more than just physical beings. Today, I want to guide you through a simple exercise to help you understand whether we are, in fact, spiritual beings living in a physical body. We often think of ourselves as beings defined by our five senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell, which allow us to interact with the physical world. But these senses are merely tools that our consciousness uses to experience reality. However, there is more to us than just these senses. Imagine your body as a house. Just as a house provides shelter, your body is a vessel that houses something much deeper, your spirit or consciousness. The body is not you, it is simply something that belongs to you, and you are the one who inhabits this body, using it to navigate the physical world. When you reflect on your own thoughts, analyze your actions, and even question your existence, you reveal a part of you that exists beyond the physical form, what we often refer to as the spirit or soul. To explore this concept further, close your eyes and try to recall an image or a memory, perhaps a beautiful landscape or a loved one's face. Then ask yourself, how are you able to see this image in your mind? Although your physical eyes can only perceive the external world, you are able to visualize images, memories, and entire scenarios within your mind, which suggests there is an inner observer, a part of you that exists beyond the physical senses and enables you to see, hear, and feel internally, even when your physical senses are not engaged. Similarly, consider your inner voice. When you think, you often hear a voice in your head that is not produced by your physical mouth, yet you can clearly hear it. This inner voice is a manifestation of your consciousness, another indication that there is more to you than just your physical body. If you can observe your thoughts, analyze your actions, and question your very existence, then who is doing the observing and analyzing? It is the spirit or consciousness residing within you, a part that is aware of your thoughts, emotions, and experiences. This spirit is not bound by the physical world. It can traverse time, revisit past memories, or imagine future scenarios, and it has the power to create entire worlds in your mind filled with images, sounds, and emotions. This capacity to transcend the physical world is a clear sign that you are a spiritual being living in a physical body. Moreover, consider how your thoughts materialize into actions. An idea starts as a thought, then you analyze it, plan how to execute it, and finally take action to bring it into reality. This process demonstrates that your thoughts have the power to influence the physical world, and it is your inner spirit, the source of your creativity, intuition, and ability to shape reality that controls these thoughts. Through this exercise, we see that we are indeed more than just physical beings. We are spiritual beings residing in a physical body. Our body is merely a vessel that enables us to interact with the material world, while the essence of who we are, our consciousness, thoughts, and spirit, exists beyond the physical. Understanding this can help you connect more deeply with your true self and recognize the power you possess to shape your reality through your thoughts and actions. Remember, you are not merely a body, you are a spirit with the ability to create, transform, and transcend. Thank you for following along, and I hope this exercise has deepened your understanding of your spiritual nature. In our tradition and understanding, rituals are an integral part of life. They are not just ceremonial acts, but deeply meaningful practices that connect us to our ancestors, our spirituality, and the world around us. The concept of rituals, their significance, and how they manifest in our daily lives, often without us even realizing it. A ritual is a set of actions performed in a specific order, often with symbolic meaning. Rituals can be religious, cultural, or even personal. They serve as a way to mark important moments, honor traditions, and connect with something greater than ourselves. In Bantu traditions, rituals are often tied to ancestral worship, spiritual practices, and community bonding. While we often associate rituals with grand ceremonies or religious practices, they are also present in our everyday lives. For example, the way we prepare and share food, the way we greet each other, or even the way we celebrate milestones can all be seen as rituals. These actions may seem mundane, but they carry deep cultural and spiritual significance. In many Bantu cultures, rituals are performed to honor ancestors. These rituals often involve offerings, prayers, and symbolic acts that connect the living with the spirits of those who came before them. For instance, placing food or other offerings at an ancestral altar is a way to show respect and seek guidance from the ancestors. Similarly, traditional marriage ceremonies are not just social contracts, but also spiritual unions. Such ceremonies often involve rituals that symbolize the joining of two families, the blessing of the union, and the hope for a prosperous future. These rituals can include the exchange of gifts, the sharing of food, and the pouring of libations. Even everyday activities like cooking can be considered rituals. When a woman prepares a meal for her family, she is not just nourishing their bodies but also their spirits. The way she handles the ingredients, the care she puts into the process, and the love she infuses into the meal all contribute to the ritualistic nature of cooking. Rituals have the power to transform ordinary actions into meaningful experiences. They connect us to our roots, our community, and our spirituality. By performing rituals, we honor and connect with our ancestors, who are seen as guardians and guides, acknowledging their presence in our lives and seeking their blessings and protection. Rituals also provide a sense of spiritual grounding, reminding us of our place in the world and our connection to something greater than ourselves. Whether through prayer, meditation, or symbolic acts, rituals help us stay centered and focused. Additionally, rituals often involve the community, bringing people together to celebrate, mourn, or mark important events, thereby strengthening social bonds and creating a sense of belonging. Consider the example of cooking. Imagine a woman preparing a meal for her family while experiencing conflict or upset feelings toward her husband. As she cooks, she channels her emotions into the food, cutting the onions with frustration, adding spices with care, and stirring the pot with intention. Unbeknownst to her, she is performing a ritual. In Bantu tradition, it is believed that the energy and emotions we put into our actions can influence the outcome. So if a woman cooks while angry or upset, the food she prepares may carry negative energy and affect those who eat it. This is why it is often said that one should not cook when angry, as emotions can transform a simple meal into a powerful ritual, for better or worse. Ultimately, rituals are not just ancient practices confined to ceremonies and traditions. They are an essential part of our daily lives, shaping our actions, relationships, and spirituality. Whether we realize it or not, we are constantly engaging in rituals that connect us to our ancestors, our community, and our inner selves. By understanding the significance of rituals, we can approach our daily actions with greater intention and mindfulness, honor our traditions, connect with our spirituality, and create meaningful experiences in our lives. Thank you for following along, and I hope this exploration of rituals has given you a deeper understanding of their importance. Until next time, stay connected to your roots and continue to find meaning in the rituals of your life. In our tradition and understanding, the concept of an egregore is deeply significant. An egregore is a spiritual field or collective energy that connects a group of people, often centered around a shared belief system, deity, or spiritual practice. It serves as a guiding force, shaping the behavior, values, and destiny of those who are part of it. I want to explore what an egregore is, how it functions, and why it is so powerful in shaping societies and cultures. An egregore is a spiritual or energetic field created by the collective thoughts, beliefs, and actions of a group of people. It is a shared consciousness that binds individuals together, often around a common goal, deity, or ideology. This spiritual field influences the behavior and decisions of those within it, guiding them in ways that align with the collective energy of the group. For example, in religious contexts, an egregore is formed around the worship of a specific deity or the adherence to a particular set of beliefs. This egregore acts as a spiritual guide, providing direction and purpose to the community. Let's look at the power of the egregore in religion through the examples of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Each of these religions has its own egregore, a spiritual field that connects its followers and guides their actions. When European colonizers arrived in Bantu lands, they didn't just bring their religion, they brought their egregore. By establishing churches and converting people, they introduced a new spiritual field that began to dominate the existing ones. The same can be said for Islam, which spread across Bantu regions and other parts of the world, establishing mosques and creating its own egregore. These spiritual fields are not just about belief, they are about power and control. By converting people to their religion, these groups were able to dominate not just spiritually but also politically and economically. In many Bantu traditions, women hold a central role in the spiritual life of the community. They are often seen as the guardians of spiritual energy, passing down traditions and maintaining the connection to the ancestors. However, with the introduction of foreign religions, this role has been diminished. Women who were once healers, priestesses, and queens have been reduced to servants within the new religious systems. This shift has had a profound impact on Bantu societies. By disconnecting women from their traditional spiritual roles, these foreign religions have weakened the spiritual fabric of the community. Women, who were once the keepers of ancestral knowledge, are now often seen as subordinate within the new religious structures. One of the greatest challenges facing Bantu societies today is the loss of their own egregore. By adopting foreign religions, Bantu peoples have disconnected from their ancestral spiritual fields. This has left them spiritually adrift, serving the egregores of other cultures rather than their own. For example, when Bantu peoples pray, they often call on the names of foreign deities, Jehovah, Jesus, or Allah, rather than the names of their own ancestors or gods. This is a sign of how deeply the foreign egregores have taken root. Even when speaking in their native languages, many Bantu invoke the names of foreign gods, showing how disconnected they have become from their own spiritual traditions. To regain our power and independence, it is essential that we reconnect with our own spiritual fields. This means reclaiming our ancestral traditions, honoring our ancestors, and rebuilding the spiritual practices that have been lost or suppressed. Spirituality is not just about belief. It is about power. It is the foundation of our culture, our politics, and our economy. By reconnecting with our egregore, we can regain control over our destiny and build a future that is rooted in our own values and traditions. The concept of the egregore reminds us of the importance of spirituality in shaping our lives and our societies. By understanding and reclaiming our own spiritual fields, we can break free from the dominance of foreign religions and rebuild our connection to our ancestors and our traditions. This is not just a spiritual task, it is a political and economic one as well. By reconnecting with our egregore, we can create a society that is truly independent and self-determined. Let us honor our ancestors, reclaim our traditions, and build a future that is rooted in our own spiritual power. Thank you for following along, and I hope this exploration of the egregore has given you a deeper understanding of its importance. Until next time, stay connected to your roots and continue to seek the spiritual power that lies within you. In our tradition and understanding, the concept of an egregore is deeply significant. An egregore is a spiritual field or collective energy that connects a group of people, often centered around a shared belief system, deity, or spiritual practice. It serves as a guiding force, shaping the behavior, values, and destiny of those who are part of it. Today, I want to explore what an egregore is, how it functions, and why it is so powerful in shaping societies and cultures. An egregore is a spiritual or energetic field created by the collective thoughts, beliefs, and actions of a group of people. It is a shared consciousness that binds individuals together, often around a common goal, deity, or ideology. This spiritual field influences the behavior and decisions of those within it, guiding them in ways that align with the collective energy of the group. For example, in religious contexts, an egregore is formed around the worship of a specific deity or the adherence to a particular set of beliefs. This egregore acts as a spiritual guide, providing direction and purpose to the community. Consider the examples of Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. Each of these religions has its own egregore, a spiritual field that connects its followers and guides their actions. When European colonizers arrived in Bantu, they didn't just bring their religion, they brought their egregore. By establishing churches and converting people, they introduced a new spiritual field that began to dominate the existing ones. The same can be said for Islam, which spread across Bantu and other parts of the world, establishing mosques and creating its own egregore. These spiritual fields are not just about belief, they are about power and control. By converting people to their religion, these groups were able to dominate not only spiritually but also politically and economically. In many Bantu traditions, women hold a central role in the spiritual life of the community. They are often seen as the guardians of spiritual energy, passing down traditions and maintaining the connection to the ancestors. However, with the introduction of foreign religions, this role has been diminished. Women who were once healers, priestesses, and queens have been reduced to servants within the new religious systems. This shift has had a profound impact on Bantu societies. By disconnecting women from their traditional spiritual roles, these foreign religions have weakened the spiritual fabric of the community. Women, who were once the keepers of ancestral knowledge, are now often seen as subordinate within the new religious structures. One of the greatest challenges facing Bantu societies today is the loss of their own egregore. By adopting foreign religions, Bantus have disconnected from their ancestral spiritual fields. This has left them spiritually adrift, serving the egregores of other cultures rather than their own. For example, when Bantus pray, they often call on the names of foreign. In our Bantu tradition and understanding, symbols and archetypes carry deep meanings that shape our perceptions and behaviors. I want to explore the difference between two powerful archetypes, the shepherd and the wolf. At first glance, the shepherd is often seen as a protector, while the wolf is viewed as a predator. But when we dig deeper, we find that these symbols carry more complex messages. The shepherd is traditionally seen as a caretaker, someone who guides and protects the sheep. In many stories, the shepherd is portrayed as a loving figure who ensures the safety and well-being of the flock. However, there's another side to this archetype that we often overlook. While the shepherd may care for the sheep, his ultimate goal is not solely their well-being. The sheep are raised for a purpose, to provide wool, milk, or even to be slaughtered for meat. The shepherd's care is not entirely selfless. It is tied to his own interests, and in the end, the sheep are still sacrificed, whether for food, clothing, or other needs. So while the shepherd may appear kind, his role is not entirely benevolent. On the other hand, the wolf is often depicted as a villain, a predator that preys on the weak and vulnerable. Wolves are seen as cunning, ruthless, and dangerous. But is this portrayal entirely accurate? Wolves are indeed predators, yet they are also highly intelligent and organized animals that hunt to survive, not out of malice. In nature, wolves play a crucial role in maintaining the balance of ecosystems by targeting weak or sick animals, which helps strengthen the herd. While their actions may seem harsh, they are a natural part of the cycle of life. In this context, the sheep represent submission and vulnerability, helpless creatures that rely entirely on the shepherd for protection, without fighting back or strategizing, simply following and depending on others for their survival. This archetype symbolizes passivity and dependence, and in many stories, the sheep are the ones who suffer, whether at the hands of the wolf or the shepherd. This raises an important question. What is the real difference between the wolf and the shepherd if both ultimately lead to the sheep's demise? These archetypes are not merely symbols in stories. They reflect deeper truths about power, control, and survival. The shepherd represents authority and care, but also control and exploitation. The wolf represents danger and predation, yet also natural order and survival. And the sheep represent vulnerability and dependence. In our lives, we often find ourselves in the role of the sheep, relying on others for guidance and protection, and we must ask ourselves, are we truly being cared for, or are we being led to our own sacrifice? Are we following blindly, or are we aware of the forces that shape our lives? It's also worth noting that there are other archetypes, such as the lion, which symbolizes power, authority, and leadership. Unlike the sheep, the lion is a protector who commands respect and fear. And in many traditions, the lion is seen as a noble and powerful figure who maintains order and balance. The lion does not prey on the weak like the wolf, nor does it exploit the vulnerable like the shepherd. Instead, it represents strength and independence, reminding us that true power comes from within, not from dependence on others. Ultimately, archetypes like the shepherd, the wolf, and the sheep carry deep symbolic meanings that influence how we see the world and ourselves. By understanding these symbols, we can gain insight into the dynamics of power, control, and survival. The key takeaway is this: do not blindly accept the roles assigned to you. Whether you see yourself as a sheep, a wolf, or a shepherd, remember that these are just archetypes. You have the power to define your own path, to be strong and independent, and to break free from cycles of dependence and exploitation. Thank you for following along. Your MIKHAEL Massa. This is MIKHAEL Massa, reminding you that you are not just a body, you are a spirit with infinite potential. If this message resonated with you, like, share, and subscribe for more knowledge on Bantu spirituality and wisdom. Until next time, stay connected to your true self.